to Friday. We are 2 days into fall camp. Head coach Nick Saban already in mid-season form, and no, it is not my fault. I did not cause him to do that. But needless to say, you're rocking and rolling on the hottest show on the streets, number one form for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Glad to have you with us on this evening. We're bringing you the show from the magic city of Birmingham, streaming this to you on YouTube. You know what to do. Hit subscribe. Smash that subscribe button. Do it right now. Get your friends, family members, casual Bama fans, diehard Bama fans to subscribe too. Because if you are enjoying the content, they will as well. Be sure to leave a like. Hit that like button. Give us that thumbs up there. Make this your show, your network platform, and space to talk Bama football. Turn all of those notifications on. Hit that little bell so that way you miss absolutely nothing on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. Got a lot to dive into on today. Bama 2 days in to fall camp. Thursday, Coach Saban challenged some guys, primarily the offensive line. Talked about, hey, our standard is not like everybody else's standard. We think bigger, we think better, we think more of what we have to do to accomplish what we want, which is win a national championship. Saban very high on some of the young players. Looking forward to seeing how they perform in the upcoming season. And of course, today was day 2 here of preseason practice. But we want to hear from you, the passionate fans of Alabama football tonight. Let your voice be made known by calling 205-448-1358. Number to let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you. That daily super chat goal, $75 daily super chat goal. They're deep picking, already getting it started off right with that $4.99 in the super chats. Appreciate deep picking here, showing love. And there it goes, Dancing Steven, doing Dancing Steven things on the desk right there. But John, we're gonna drop it now. First topic of the conversation, like I mentioned, Coach Saban mid-season form on Thursday during his first presser after the first practice of fall camp. And one of the biggest things he mentioned, he talked about a lot of things, but the biggest thing he mentioned was his offensive line. He said it straight up. We got to be better on the offensive line. We got to play better. We got to be more consistent. We got to be stronger. We got to impose our will. We got to be more dominant. We got to be able to play like grown men possessed out here on the offensive line. That side of the football, or that position, has to be better. And Saban pleased with the additions that Alabama has made to help the run game and to help the offensive line, that being Tyler Steen in here from Vanderbilt, that being Jamir Gibbs being added as a running back to help with that explosiveness. He's happy to have the pieces that have been added in, and also Miles Kitselman transfer from Hutchinson Community College at tight end. But Coach Saban wants more dominance, more toughness, more physicality, and leadership coming from the offensive line. He wants guys, at least one guy or a group of guys, that's not going to take or not going to accept others not playing to the standard that this program wants to play to and needs to play to in order to be champions. So Coach Saban and offensive line coach Eric Wolford trying to get this offensive line. They're challenging this group to be more physical, to be more dominant, to be tougher, to impose its will, and to set the tone in fall camp and to set the tone in the 2022 college football season. And what's intriguing is, this is an offensive line that, yes, was young last season, and then look back at last season, and they want to correct some things. They want to rectify some things. As you see here on screen, here are some of the notable struggles that Alabama had up front a season ago. You discuss 41 sacks allowed by this offensive line. 41 sacks, including 39 of Bryce Young. You remember the 2020 offensive line? They gave up just 13 sacks of Mac Jones. The 2021 group gave up 39 of Bryce Young. Also, there was a lot of inconsistency in the run game a season ago. Alabama just couldn't line up and run the football the way that it wanted to and the way that it's used to or accustomed to doing. Now, there were some moments where Brian Robinson broke loose and had some big games, absolutely, but it just didn't have the feel of Alabama could just line up and run the ball down your neck, down your throat, whenever it wanted to, and there was nothing you could do to stop it as the opposition. Alabama did not have that level of consistency a season ago. Also, you got to look at, there was a lot of inconsistent play at the center and right tackle position. Both of those spots were kind of a revolving door last year. Center started off with Darian Dalcourt. Chris Owens got a crack at it a little bit. And then toward the end, the Iron Bowl, second half of the Iron Bowl, last game of the regular season against Auburn, Bama finally got it right with going with Seth McLaughlin at that spot. And then you look at the right tackle position, that was a revolving door. It started off with Chris Owens, but then Kendall Randolph got a shot at it. That didn't work. Damian George got a shot at it. That didn't work. And then it just ended up back on Chris Owens because there was nothing else Alabama could do at the time. So that was a bit of an issue. And then, there was a lack of physicality and just sheer dominance a season ago. There were moments where Alabama's offensive line was just simply getting outmanned, outworked, getting blown off the ball. There was no pride taken with the offensive line just a season ago. So these are things that Coach Wolford and the guys back want to rectify and to clean up and to improve on, showing that, hey, we are much better than that showing. And Emil Ekiyor Jr. spoke today, starting offensive guard for Alabama in his final season with the Crimson Tide. And the main thing he spoke about was there's a participation trophy in the cafeteria on campus in the players' facility. There's a participation trophy from the college football playoff. Yes, you made the playoff, you were the runner-up, you participated, you got there, but you didn't win. And Ekiyor said, the players look at that trophy, and there is so much hunger stirred in them as they look at that trophy because they know we're not just trying to participate in the playoff or get in there. We want to win the thing. We want to take home the CFP trophy as national champions of college football. And, Ekiyor mentioned, hey, we haven't turned the page from that Georgia game in the national championship. That game is still in our mind. We still think about that. We're still hurt about that. We're still bothered about that. That game is a motivating factor because we know we could have played better. Alabama could have played better, could have executed better, could have done better. So Ekiyor speaking his mind as a leader of this group up front, not just trying to be in the playoff, but win the playoff. The challenge goes to the offensive line first, setting that tone. And here we go here. When you look at Alabama's hopes of winning a national title, it falls on that offensive line. That offensive line has got to be consistent every single week, every single game, especially starting off here in fall camp. I know Bama's trying to mix and match and find the best five to put on the field, whatever it comes up with as the best five, whether it has Steen at left tackle, Javion Cohen left guard, Seth McLaughlin center, right guard Ekiyor, right tackle J.C. Latham, or whatever the five is. Whoever the five end up being in the mix and the matching here, this group of five got to be nasty this season because the national championship starts with a tone-setting, physical, dominant offensive line. Going back to the 2020 year, that set the tone. The 2012 year, another offensive line that people relished with Barrett Jones and Chance Warmack and those guys. They set a physical tone every single week, starting off in fall practice. So Coach Wolford, Emil Ekiyor, the rest of this group, it starts with them and trying to get that national championship mentality in here. But another thing here would be, has the Crimson Tide, sort of found its two anchors here at both tackle positions? Because that's a big deal. A lot of people have been discussing this all off season. You lost Evan Neal to the NFL draft as a first-round pick. Chris Owens, serviceable, good guy, good dude, but gone also. You're replacing both tackles. Does Alabama have its anchors at both tackle spots? It looks like they may have them. It looks like they've got them. When you discuss Tyler Steen coming over from Vanderbilt, 6'5", 315 pounds. Ekiyor talked about it today. Steen has come in here. He has worked extremely hard. He has picked up the playbook in the system rather quickly. He kind of knows what to do. Coming as a player that coming from one SEC school to the other. I get it, the SEC school is Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt does produce talent. It's just the culture at that program definitely not where it needs to be at. But Steen has ability and capability. Now, when I brought up J.C. Latham to Ekiyor, his eyes lit up. He said, that's my guy. That's my dog. That's my dude. We've been working out all offseason long in the weight room. We've been lifting. We've been grinding. We've been watching film. We've been studying. We've been taking no days off. Team no sleep, Ekiyor saying, in terms of he and J.C. Latham. And he said J.C. is about to have a really big year. Keep in mind, Latham came in 5-star 2021 class. Our own Justin Smith, the lead scouting and recruiting analyst for TDA, said that he was the most college-ready offensive lineman of the haul of players Bama brought in that 21 bunch there. So it's Latham's time. Latham's moment to go out there, be special, be legit here, be dominant. So looking forward to seeing what Latham does. Looking forward to seeing what Tyler Steen does. Looking forward to seeing what this whole offensive line does, because Nick Saban's challenging them now. He's challenged them. Got to be tougher. Got to be physical. Got to be dominant. Got to be consistent. Got to play better. Saban is putting this on the offensive line, and they've got to answer the bell with fall camp going into the upcoming season. We take our first break here on the show on Touch That Dial, just getting started. Upon our return, we go to the phone lines, people. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. We get to a dialogue with you on a Friday, right after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them thumbs up.
9 players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, folks, we're back into the action from the break on a Friday, TGIF edition of the show. Hottest show on the streets, talking your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama magazine, the Crimson Tide, in day 2 of pre-season camp. And gotta shout out the man Waylon, El Presidente Waylon, with that $2.99 in the super chats. There goes Dancing Stephen once again. Waylon showing that love here on the show. But phone lines are open here, folks. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. We want to hear from you tonight, talking your Crimson Tide. This is in day 2 here of fall camp. And John, just going back to the offensive line, I'm happy that Coach Saban brought it up. I am, because the toughness, the physicality, it does start with that group, and that group has got to be on its P's and Q's this season. But we take our first call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Well, it's Friday night. Finally, Friday. Well. It's time for the weekend. Time for everybody just to have a good time, settle down. I've got to give these Georgia fans a history lesson tonight, Stephen. They've been all over this darn YouTube today. They didn't even know what year colored TV started. Listen, Georgia fans, the World Fair of 1953, colored TV was introduced. Coach Bryant won 6 national championships. They didn't know that. 61, 64, 65, 73, 78, 79, 92, 9, 11, 12. Oh, Lord, they just can't take it, Stephen. What are we going to do with these Georgia fans? Have you got any suggestions about this?
One suggestion I've got, Wagon, is if you face Georgia in the SEC championship or the national championship again, take care of business and beat them.
There you go. That's it right there. Take care of business, yeah. I'd like to see another rematch there, but, it sort of gets boring every year to see the same two teams go at it. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll have a little swap up this year and have something different there. But everybody's looking good. Yeah, Georgia, y'all got to get to us before you can beat us, and we got to get to y'all before we can beat y'all. We understand all this. But Blue Ridge Gang, y'all looking good this Friday night. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all make this the hottest show on the street, hottest show on YouTube, hottest show in the country. Y'all remember that little history lesson now. Y'all probably weren't even born back in 53. I wasn't either, but I wasn't far away. I love all y'all. I'll see y'all probably Monday evening. Y'all be safe. Bye-bye, everyone.
Appreciate Waylon starting us off here on a Friday. We go to this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steven? It's your boy Elijah from Jersey, man. What's going on?
Elijah, what's going on, brother? What's happening?
Oh, nothing, man. Just tuning into the show, seeing what you got up your sleeve, what you kind of talk about. And I see the first thing on your mind is the offensive line for Bama. And obviously, that was the first thing on Saban's mind, too. But, I feel this year, do we have 2 solid offensive tackles? Absolutely not. I think they got a lot to prove, the guys who are going to be put in that position. It's a tough position to play, though, and that's why I'm not going to, harp on these guys or jump down their throats. Offensive tackle is a very tough position to play. You have to have very good feet. You have to have very good instincts. You're dealing with defensive ends. You're dealing with outside linebackers. You're dealing with a whole bunch of different schemes that you got to be able to move your feet. Plus, on top of that, you got to run block. I would rather get beat on the outside, Steve, rather than getting that pressure up the middle. That's the one thing Bama could not do this year. That center, whether it's Seth or Dalcourt, personally, I think it needs to be Seth. I believe, he might be small in size or smaller. The guy's still 295, 300 pounds, but he's grittier. To me, I think he has better feet. He's just a better center to me than Dalcourt. But the one thing Bama cannot afford to do is get beat in the A and B gaps, because when you get beat up the middle, Bryce has no chance. If he gets beat, if the tackles get beat around the edge, it's a chance that he could step up, make a play. But once that pressure is coming directly up into your face, you have no chance at all. So to me, those guards, those centers, they got to be strong this year. And, just the fact that it's going to be 2 new starting tackles, they're going to need all the help they can get, man. You know what I mean? As far as from these guard position guys. And the guys playing guard, they got more experience. So, they're going to definitely have to help these guys out, But that's my thing as far as the offensive line go. I think Steph needs to be there. And we as fans, we got to take some time. We're probably not going to see another Cam Robinson. We probably won't see another Cyrus Quandro. these guys are going to take a little bit more time to develop. Plus, Alabama's more pass happy now. You know what I mean? We're like, it's not even 50-50. It looks like we're about 70-30 pass to run. Before, these guys used to have to be able to just run block majority of the time. Now, we're pass happy. So that puts a lot more pressure on those tackles to be able to hold up against outside linebackers crashing down in defensive ends. You know, I think also Bill O'Brien can help out with better play calling to take some of the pressure off of these guys. Maybe run the ball a little bit more. But I just feel as fans, we're going to have to sit back and let these guys mature into the position, because right off the bat, we're not going to see, like I said again, we're not going to see a Cyrus. We're not going to see a Cam Robinson. These guys got to get playing time underneath their belt, and then hopefully they mature into a good tackle. But that's all I got to say, Steve, man. Roll Tide.
Appreciate Elijah there for that call, and good points by him. You do have two new guys that are going to be playing at that offensive tackle spot, and it is difficult. And that's the reason why much is going to be expected of Emil Ekiyor and Javion Cohen as both offensive guards with experience, but not just experience. Their NFL draft stocks are on the line. Ekiyor wants to be a strong draft pick, and so does Cohen. So both of those two, along with Seth McLaughlin, they're going to have to man down the middle, those A and B gaps, and not allow that pressure to get to Bryce Young. And then hopefully with Steen and Latham, they can do enough on the outside to shield, neutralize the pressure from Bryce Young. And, you know, Bryce can step up in the pocket and throw. He has shown that he is elusive. He is mobile. He can escape the pocket here and make plays. So absolutely, there's going to be a lot on the center and the guard position to make sure that pressure does not come right up the middle in Bryce Young's space there. Appreciate Elijah for that call. 205-448-1358. Number to call in to get your thoughts on the show. Want to hear from you, the Bama Nation. 205-448-1358 on a Friday. Crimson Tide finishing up day 2 of fall camp. And as you're getting your thoughts in here, you know, a quick topic from Coach Saban. At the end of the presser, he got a question about, you know, do you want the players to show that dominance in every situation, or do you want them to show that competitive edge, that fire, that pride, that I refuse to be denied deal every time they're on the field or in a loss? And, you know, Saban mentioned it shouldn't take a loss to fire you up. It shouldn't. Yes, we live in a society where when you do good all the time and people acknowledge you're good all the time, you sort of do get complacent. You sort of do not put so much focus or so much emphasis on things. You kind of go in a nonchalant mode because everybody's talking good about you. But the moment where a tragedy occurs or something negative occurs or something uncomfortable occurs, then it's, oh snap, what happened? I gotta fix this, I gotta improve this, I gotta better myself. Then all the senses become heightened to, you know, how do I make this right? And then Saban wants these guys relentless, dominant, in a win when things are going good, when things are going great. He wants that same competitive fire, that same mindset, that same ferocity, that same playing to the level standard that we know you can play to when things are going good, as well as when you encounter struggles, adversity, and what have you. So he wants to see Bama with the same face every time. It's kind of like, remember when Jalen Hurts played at Alabama? It didn't matter what was going on with Jalen Hurts. He kept the same straight face. Whether it was a touchdown, straight face. He got sacked, straight face. Interception, straight face. Completed the pass, straight face. Fumbled the ball, straight face. You never knew what was going on with Jalen because he kept that mean poker face. He never changed character. He kept that same face. So that's what Nick Saban wants to see from his team. When things are going good, same competitive, relentless, dominant fire. When you're facing adversity, same competitive dominance, relentless fire. Appreciate that coming from Coach Saban. But gotta shout out Jimmy the Batman Clay with that $75 donation. The Super Chats, we have hit that daily Super Chat goal. It has been achieved. Appreciate the man Jimmy Clay helping us out right there, and also D. Pickett and Waylon showing up the show earlier. But we go to a break right here, folks. Don't touch that down. When we get back, we'll dive into some injury updates and other things that took place during the first 2 days of fall camp. We'll talk about it after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at weownthefourthquarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at weownthefourthquarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, folks, we're back into the action here from the break. Hottest show on the streets, covering your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Friday. Happy to be joining you right here, Crimson Tide, through 2 days of fall camp, and we get into some injury updates, small things that Coach Saban discussed on Thursday, and one of those things just so happened to be at the tight end position. Now, they've been talked about how Cameron Latu, veteran tight end for Alabama, entering his senior year, if I'm not mistaken here. Cam Latu will miss some time from camp. Saban didn't go into what the injury is, the prognosis of it, or, all of the information on that standpoint, but he did say that Cam Latu will miss some time in camp. Latu, who had 26 catches a season ago for 410 yards and 8 touchdowns, single season school record holder for touchdown receptions by a tight end. Now, with Latu out, missing some time here, this gives other players a chance to get huge reps, big reps here at tight end. And Saban's really excited about these young guys having this opportunity. Now, the guys who are going to get reps, their names are on screen. You got Miles Kitselman, who comes in as a transfer from Hutchinson Community College. You got Robbie Oots, who served in that fullback role a season ago prior to a foot injury, but he started to improve a bit as a pass catcher in the spring game. You got Elijah Brown, who came in the spring of this 2022 class. You've got Amari in the Black. Keep your eyes on him. Amari in the Black at 6'3", physical, rangy, athletic, can block, but kind of gives you that vibe of he can catch the ball as an inline tight end and run routes. He can run routes, get open, catch the football. As being split out wide from a wide receiver perspective, Amari in the Black can give you a lot. Even as a freshman, he can give you a lot. So keep your eyes on him. And then Danny Lewis Jr., another young tight end, another freshman that will benefit from seeing reps with Cameron Latu being out here for some time. So hopefully we get a strong recovery from Latu so we can be back to finish camp and get in some camp practices prior to the start of the season. Another update here, this goes to Ja'Cory Brooks and Darian Dalcourt, sophomore wide receiver and veteran offensive lineman. According to Coach Saban, both of these two are full go for fall camp. They did not play in the spring due to injuries, but they are both full go in fall camp. Ja'Cory Brooks made a couple of really nice catches in Thursday's practice. Darian Dalcourt, big number 71, was out there with the offensive line in day one of camp, and he's battling Seth McLaughlin, trying to get the starting job there at the center position. So both Brooks and Dalcourt full go in fall camp. As we move now to defensive players here, we look at Malachi Moore and Dallas Turner. Moore and Turner were both seen in Thursday's practice wearing knee braces and braces on their legs, and people instantly went, what's going on? What's happening? Are they hurt? Are they injured? What's going on? Why are these two guys in knee braces out here or in leg braces on the field? Well, Malachi Moore's okay. Moore is not hurt. He has dealt with injuries so far in his career. The latter part of his freshman year, 2020, dealt with back spasms. And then this past season, dealt with shin splints. He's officially healthy, good for the first time since he came in as a freshman from Hewitt-Trussville High School, and looking forward to him having a bounce-back season as a junior. In terms of Dallas Turner, he's okay, going through practice, wearing the knee brace as a precautionary thing. Now, there was a rumor out there that maybe he had a minor injury in the offseason. I'm not sure about that. I'm just saying it was a rumor out there. I have nothing to clarify that or to confirm that. But normally when I see players in the knee brace and there's no injury report being made by Coach Saban, I normally take it as these guys are probably just wearing the knee brace for precautionary reasons. Not saying that they're hurt, but just for precautionary reasons. So no injuries there where Malachi Moore and Dallas Turner are concerned, but they were wearing knee braces, leg braces in Thursday's practice. But the Braves did not seem to limit neither of the two. They both ran smoothly. They were able to move laterally. They were able to backpedal, being cut. The agility was right there. Everything seemed to be fine and on the up and up with both guys, despite having those braces on. Now, Coach Saban talked about it on Thursday. There are going to be some players that will practice a lot. There will be some that will not practice every day. He's not going to be out there just giving an injury update report on every single player. But when it's needed for him to provide that injury report, we here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine will definitely get that over to you. But those are just some updates here as far as the first couple of days here of fall camp on the injury front. But we take another break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, because when we get back, we return to the phone lines. We get your calls, your thoughts, your conversations, a dialogue with you, the Bama fans. Come right after this.
Don't touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith. Brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com now to get your four-finger bling necklace. Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to WhitwellSports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, we're back in here, rocking and rolling from the break to the action. Hottest show on the streets, covering your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. The Crimson Tide wrapping up the first 2 days of fall camp. A lot went on, a lot took place. Coach Saban in midseason form, all that good stuff right there. And Jimmy the Bad Man Clay with that $100, that Benjamin Franklin making its way into the Super Chats. Appreciate Jimmy Clay and the love he shows us here on the show, as Dancing Steven showing his appreciation of Jimmy Clay dancing there on the screen. But the phone lines are open. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Ridge Gang, 205-448-1358. Now when to call in, you let your voice be heard. Here is your time, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you. D-Pimp Man Pickett. Then came back in here with a $4.99 the Super Chats. Appreciate D Pickett here showing some love on the show as well. And just getting back here, John, into fall camp things. One of the aspects that was really funny from Thursday's press conference with Nick Saban, he was asked a question about the cornerbacks, but Coach Saban thought the reporter was asking about the quarterbacks. So he was asked a question about Kyrie Jackson, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and Eli Ricks, but Saban thought the reporter was asking about quarterbacks. So he's talking about Bryce Young, Jameson Williams, and Ty Simpson. But it was good, though. It was good. Even in the slight blunder, it was good, though, because he opened up about Bryce's leadership and how it's been really good for the team and how he's been stepping up, being more vocal to players within his position group and the offense as a whole. He spoke on Jalen Milroe making just tremendous improvement as a complete player. Bama's still working with him from the passing aspect, but we saw in the spring he made some improvements there and is looking forward to making even more improvement. And then for Ty Simpson, he's in that development stage as a freshman, but he's doing good. I mean, he's doing strong out there. And to me, for the first time since, I guess, 2017, 2018, Alabama's got a full elite quarterback room. 2017, you had Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, and Mac Jones, right? I mean, Jalen Hurts, starting quarterback, SEC champion as a freshman, could do a lot of things. But when the time came for in the second half of the 2018 national championship game against Georgia, Alabama had to go to Tua. And just seeing that Bama goes to the backup quarterback, and the backup quarterback delivers you a national championship, it just shows how strong the quarterback room is. And then 2019, we saw Tua deal with a lot of injuries. Mac Jones has to go out there. And to see Mac Jones hold his own, third-string quarterback, a guy that was kind of an afterthought at one point in time, and Mac went out there and did his thing. It just shows you how strong that quarterback room really, truly is. And then, going back to Jalen Hurts, 2018, Tua got hurt in the SEC championship game against Georgia. Jalen comes off the bench, leads the team to a 35-28 comeback victory, and Nick Saban gets choked up talking to Jamir Gibbs about it. So it's been a minute since Bama's had a quarterback room that, everybody's excited about. God forbid something happened to Bryce. Nobody wants anything happening to Bryce Young. Absolutely not. But in this game where you never know what's going to happen, Bama fans look at Jalen Milroe and they think, okay, if something were to happen with Bryce, we have confidence that Jalen Milroe can go in there and run that offense. We have confidence that Ty Simpson can go in there and do some things and run that offense, and Bama can still have success. Once again, God forbid anything happening to Bryce. You don't want that happening. But having a quarterback room that as a whole is really good or is really talented or possesses the capabilities to be something very nice, fans like that. U.S. consumers of Tide football, you guys really, really like that right there. But we go to a small topic here, and this one's on Jameson Williams. Former Alabama receiver got taken at number 12 overall in this recent NFL draft by the Detroit Lions. According to Around the NFL, Tom Pelissero reported that J-Mo is on the non-football injury list for right now, but he is set to make his return to the Lions and start football action on the field by November. So by November, J-Mo looks to be back on the field, getting reps, playing football, the Detroit Lions in November. Williams had a serious knee injury, ACL tear in the national championship game against Georgia. But despite that, Williams still was taken in the first round of this recent draft. That just tells you how much his speed, his explosiveness is a hot commodity and valued greatly in the pros. So hopefully J-Mo is able to get back out there in November and do his thing from a wide receiver standpoint. But we take our final break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, because when we get back, we tidy up loose ends by talking about some dudes that stood out in the first day of fall camp, according to the video provided by the University of Alabama. We'll talk about those guys after this.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All-Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to STSfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to STSfootwear.com and get your All-Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, back into the action here from the break on a Friday, TGIF edition of the show, hottest show on the streets, covering your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Happy to have you guys checking us out here on today. 2 days of fall camp in the books. Crimson Tide trying to be more physical here, especially on the offensive line. And Jimmy Clay is just throwing that money, just throwing it in the bag. That $200 donation coming in here from him, showing love on the show. Appreciate the support there coming from the man, Jimmy Clay. And there is Khaki Pants Dancing Steven right there, getting down to business on the desk there. But before we get into final topic of conversation, got to remind you of TDAwear.com. That's TDAwear.com. So for all of your swagger, sauce, drip, clothing, cultural, fashion needs here, check us out right now, TDAwear.com. Do your shopping now as fall camp in full swing, or if you want to wait till Saturday, September 3rd, when Bama takes on Utah State at Bryant-Denny in the season opener, you can do that as well. But we got your gear, we got all that you need supporting your Crimson Tide. TDAwear.com. That's TDAwear.com. The link in the description. Continue to show that support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at TDA. Also, don't forget to check out the Bama Standard on Tuesday. Next Tuesday, streaming live on TDA's YouTube channel at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We got an incredible guest. We got 2023 three-star defensive back commit Brayson Hubbard coming on the show. Brayson Hubbard, three-star defensive back commit, is coming on for the 2023 class. So be sure to check out the Bama Standard on Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central Time, right here on TDA's YouTube channel. But we now look into the guys that stood out to me from the first day of fall camp, according to the video provided to us by University of Alabama. And there were a few standouts from the first day, but the first one, Jamir Gibbs. Everybody is buzzing about Jamir Gibbs. There's an old statement that says, if people ain't talking about you, you ain't doing something right. Everybody's talking about Jamir Gibbs, from coaches to offensive players, defensive players, fans, media. Everybody's talking about Gibbs and what he's going to bring to this Alabama offense, from an explosive big play pop the top off running back perspective here. Now, if you're watching him on screen, he's got big speed. He's got big speed, big bursts, big explosiveness, big cuts, big agility, big time back. We saw what he did at Georgia Tech last year. 1,800 all-purpose yards, 7 touchdowns. And speaking with Henry To'o today, Alabama linebacker, he said, I have never guarded a running back like Jamir Gibbs before. He's helping me improve my game. He's so fast. He's so quick. He's so explosive. He makes such great cuts, like the guy is gone. You go back to the spring game, 75-yard touchdown run inside Bryant-Denny that had fans go, oh, okay, we see you. We see what we're getting with this young man right here. Everybody's talking about Gibbs. Looking forward to seeing him throughout fall camp and the 2022 season. He stood out first day of practice. The number 2 guy that stood out to me, Jenga Miura. Just how big he is. Look at this film. He looks like Deshaun Watson wearing that number 4 jersey. Big, strong, chunky, athletic, improvement as a passer. I mean, throughout the first day of camp, if you watch the film, Bill O'Brien, offensive coordinator, kept saying, way to place that ball there, Jenga. Good throw there, Jenga. Way to put it right there, Jenga. And that's what we want for you to do. And that size, that athleticism, that ability, gotta have that on the field. And you're seeing he is making those improvements even more as a distributor of the football. Got to have this young man on the field in some way, shape, form, and capacity. But Jenga Miura definitely stood out to me. Moving on down to our third guy that stood out here. We're going to flip this over to the defense. We're going to stay with the offensive side of the ball, where we pick up Jojo Earl. Jojo Earl, to me, is greatly improved as a receiver. He came in the 2021 class out of Texas. We all know, fast guy, quick twitch guy. But Jojo Earl had some catches day one. Christian Leary had some big ones, too. And this is going to be a big year for Leary as well. But Jojo Earl, number 10, had some catches that had me go, okay. Last year was kind of fast, maybe a little bit too fast for his own good. Kind of, didn't know how to slow down, distribute the body, stop, catch the football, and start back up. He's got a better gist of that now. As you watch the over-the-head catch there he makes from Bryce Young, stopping on a dime, catching the ball right there on the slant and the bang 8 routes. Jojo Earl more improved here. He and Christian Leary both, but Earl making these catches here, much more improved as a receiver. Excited about him. Now we flip over to the defense where we pick up Jaheim Otis. Folks, 342 pounds ain't supposed to move like that. Look at him just get out of there. He moves up and he just burst out of there. 342 pounds ain't supposed to be booking it like that. This just tells you his determination to be in shape. Get in shape, stay in shape, be in shape, going from 416 to 342. He tweeted this out here on social media just a few days back, and I'm excited. I mean, this is a young man that is going to get playing time. He is going to earn him some reps out there on the field. How many reps will he steal from guys like DJ Dale, like a Jamil Burrows, remains to be seen. But 91 is a name to keep your eyes on. He's focused. He's hungry. 342 pounds. It's supposed to be that agile. It's pretty agile right there coming from Jaheim Otis. And last but not least here, another freshman that stood out to me. Yes, Preston. Wide receiver number 18 from Louisiana. Worked with Devontae Smith all off season. You can tell. Because if you watch his routes, it's just like Smitty. He runs like Smitty, stops like him, catches the ball like him, attacks the ball like him. He's bigger than what I thought he would be. So you got some physicality there on him. He can jump up there and he can make those catches, and he's turning some heads here in fall camp. Now this is me. He breaks that rotation and plays a lot this season. We'll have to see. He could. But receiver is a position where Bama is so stacked and so deep at. it's going to be tough. It's going to be a stretch, but watching him day one of practice, 18, Shaz Preston, he definitely stood out. He definitely caught my attention with not just his size, but his catch radius, his routes, hands, and the catching ability that he has there at that position. So those are just a few guys that from the tape that was provided from us by the University of Alabama Athletics Department, those are just some guys that stood out to me there first day of fall camp. But as always, folks, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you have the Android phone. Now, for your audio needs, check us out here, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I shall make my return on Monday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Remember, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link will be found in the description. If you're trying to get the fresh edition, print edition of TDA the magazine, you go to touchdownalabama.com, you click join, become a member or a subscriber today. That link in the description. And if you're trying to get your hands on the four-finger bling necklace, four-finger bling jewelry, courtesy of our guys at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. That's WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. That link in the description too. Gotta shout out you guys, the outstanding Alabama fans, for all the calls, donations, love, support of the show, making this your network, platform, channel, and space to talk Bama. Gotta shout out my man John Ivory in the production studio, doing what he does every single time, making this show flow smoothly. And until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue in the weekend doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing, to not be bored. Get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself, you protect the loved ones around you. Also, great shout out to our associate producer, Eli Walker, who has done a phenomenal job in setting up shows, producing shows, and just being a great part in addition to the team here. But until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. And until next time, you've been listening to In My Own Words.